Hey YouTube, this is Shayna, and I just got finished watching the Michael Jackson memorial service, and I just had to, I know it's probably really cliche right now, but I just gotta let some things off my heart. I'm telling you, it was, I think for me, it became real today. You know, his legacy. I grew up on Michael Jackson, just like everybody else. You know, my first song that I would sing around the house was "I'll Be There," and I could never sing it. I could never say the words. I would walk around saying "I'll be, because I couldn't say the words, but I knew who it was from. I knew it was a Michael Jackson song, and that's what I grew up on. You know, I grew up on Thriller and Bad and you know, on his records Off the Wall and all types of. I grew up on that type of music, and I really didn't, it didn't set in that he actually died. When I heard on the news, I was kind of really honestly, I was indifferent to it. And it was so surreal. And so it's still surreal to me, because it's like, wow, that man is actually gone. It's wild to me. Like, you know, I see it on the news, I see it on Fox and CNN and MTV and BET and VH1. I see him on, I'm just like, this man, he's really gone. Like, he's honestly and truly not for no play. This man is really gone. And watch that memorial service today, I'm telling you, it was like, it made it that much more real that he was actually gone. I mean, when Usher came out there and sang, and when he touched the casket, and when he cried, I was like, oh my God, he had me, because I was just bawling my little eyes out. I was like, oh my God, like, for real. I mean, Magic Johnson, Brooke Shields, even Sheila Jackson Lee, girl, you know, I'm telling her speech to Michael Jackson, I'm telling you, that was, girl, do it up, represent, because she came out there and she let it be known. Even to Al Sharpton, I'm not a big fan of Al Sharpton, but I gotta give him much respect, because to let his kids know your daddy is not strange. It's strange what he had to put up with. That was some, excuse me. But I'm telling you, I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know, and even to see Jermaine up there singing for him, I know it had to been, you know, it wasn't easy. Because that's your blood, that's your family that you lost. Like, to us, the world, that's an icon. We gonna mourn regardless, you know, but that's a brother, you know. No parent wants to bury a child, you know, so I was just like, yo, that is so serious. And with Paris, her she just touched my heart, you know, because people don't understand the extent. You know, you make fun of her father, you want to call him Wacko Jacko, and you want to call him something, but to that little girl, that's a father. He's his own legend to her in her own way. That's your dad. You know, that is your father, regardless of how crazy people want to call him. That's her father. And for people to make fun of him and not really realize what you're doing to that little girl, you know, that's to her brothers as well. You're playing around with her emotions. That's her father, and give her that respect. You know, she deserves it. You know, and I just felt when she came up there, I cried. I was like, because I never know what it's like to lose a father or a parent at that. You know, and she's 12 or 11. I think she's 11. Okay, I'm 19. I've never experienced what she has to go through, and just to see that little girl up there, it was. I had to give her much respect, much love to all of them, because you know, I gotta say, he went out in the best way. I mean, Princess Diana, she did her thing, but Michael Jackson, like, no, nobody could do it like him. Even in his death, he's still doing it big, you know. That casket I saw on the news, that was like a $25,000 casket. There's only been like a few made, and the only person that had one was James Brown, which is kind of ironic, you know, that was his idol. But, you know, when they brought that casket out in the beginning with the choir saying "Soon and Very Soon," man, I was like, yo, that shit is fucking bananas. Like, this man is really gone. To see that casket, it made it so real. And so, like, it brought reality back to a lot of people. Like, you know, his music always gonna live on. You always could jam to his oldies. There ain't no question about it. Even right up to when he did Invincible, you still finna jam to his stuff. You know, it's just what it is. But to know that he will never perform again, it's like, no. Like, you refuse to believe that one. You refuse to believe it, because it's like, that man can't be dead. Michael Jackson can't be dead. But he is, and I watched that, and at first I wasn't gonna watch it because I was like, that I really don't want to get into that. But when I really watched it, and MTV did the best because MTV didn't have no commercials, no commentators. They just let the whole thing just run, and it was just, I really have to give it to them. He went out in the best way possible. You know, you can't get no bigger than him. I don't care. He beat out Elvis. I said it. He's bigger than Elvis. I said it. Yes, that man beat out Elvis, and he will continue to do that. I'm sorry. Nobody says. He's the biggest star that ever lived. Biggest star that ever lived. And it was, I'm not in shock, but it's really just like, it's really surreal. You know, and a lot of people have been complaining, well, you know, he was child molestator and pervert, this, that, and the third. Say what you want to say about him. But know that when they put on his shit, you jam into it. Like, you can say what you want to say about him. You know, he molested the kids. None of y'all was there. Now one of y'all was there. So get over it. And the court said he didn't do it. Therefore, move on. Get over it. Bill O'Reilly, I heard what you said. And I think it's so foul how the black community shouldn't care because he's not black. That man was born black. I don't know if nobody says. We don't know what was going on inside him. Therefore, you can't just say, you know, he's not black anymore. Skin tone ain't got jack to do with it. What about albino black people? People that are albino, that are African American. It's all the same. And people go to see Michael Jackson just for the fact that he's Michael Jackson. It don't matter what color he is. It don't matter what sexual orientation he was. He ain't the sexiest person in the world. But that man, when you went to go see him, grown men were passing out. So it don't matter what he did or what he looked like. It was his music that you went to go hear. A lot of people want to say because he's a celebrity and all of that. Like, in today's world, yes, we're giving our celebrities a little too much leeway. But it ain't because he's a celebrity. It's Michael Jackson. If that man never changed his skin tone, you still love him. If that man never touched a kid a day in his life, you still love him. If that man didn't own Neverland Ranch, we would still, it's because of who he was and what he represented. He brought so many people together on so many different levels that you can't even compare that to nobody else. The first African American performer to ever be on MTV. Like, that's big, because MTV was back in the day, and it still is. For him to break that barrier down, he did so many things. It's ridiculous. This man sold out arenas. Arenas. This man sold out arenas. You can't, nobody else can do that. Not even Beyonce. Not Jay-Z. Don't nobody. Madison Square Garden is it for some people. This man sold out arenas. Stadiums. Stadiums. Thousands. You talking hundreds of thousands of people. Not a few thousand. Not 25,000. No. Hundreds of thousands of people at one time. He had people in Russia loving Americans. You can't get any bigger than that. And I'm just like, you know, to the Jackson family, to Janet, to Rebbie, to LaToya, Jackie, Jermaine, Tito, Marlon, Randy, to all y'all, my prayers are with you. Because to you, that's a brother. And to Catherine, your son, you don't even know what you created. You know, he's beyond words. So to Ms. Jackson, thank you. And to even Joseph Jackson, we done heard some things about you, and you may have been the worst motherfucker in the world. But in some weird, strange way, if you didn't see that talent in your son, if you didn't envision that talent in your son 50 years ago, you know, whatever, there wouldn't be a Michael Jackson. You know, and if you didn't harness his talent, you may have been a little too strict, you may have been a little off your marbles, but the point is, you saw what your sons had. So for that, I say thank you. But y'all, I had to just, my heart is I'm not sad. I'm not happy that he's dead, but it's a celebration of life. And a lot of cultures we have to understand that you got to celebrate their life. Don't mourn their death. Because my grandmother said, when she said, "Don't cry at my funeral. Don't even wear black to my funeral." You know, that's how my grandmother was, and that's what I would say to y'all. Don't wear black. Don't mourn the death. You know, celebrate the life that he was. You know, we may not have agreed with everything he did. We may not have been happy that he changed his skin tone. We may not have been happy that he may have had too many kids at his house, or he slept with the kids. Whatever he was doing, we may not agree with it. But at the end of the day, that man touched more lives than any of us will ever fathom. So, to that, you guys, thank you for listening. I just had to say that to get that out. So, you know, to all my subscribers, great. You know, thank you. rate, comment, and subscribe. And this is your girl, Shayna, and I am signing off. Deuces.